Hey guys, welcome to the ITS Knot of the Week. Today we're going to be tying the diagonal lashing, so continuing our lashings with lashing on the diagonal. Alright guys, so with a diagonal lashing, this is more of a supporting lashing, whereas what we covered before was a square lashing. A square lashing is more of a weight-bearing lashing. So if you can imagine these two posts together, a diagonal lashing like we're doing today is in this configuration. Think of an X. So square lashing, think of a T. Now I know that this is already tied in a diagonal fashion, which I'll get into in a second, but I want you to just visualize quickly why we're tying, or what the purpose of a diagonal lashing is. So with the square lashing, you're actually putting force down onto the structure itself, so the lashing has to be different. Whereas a diagonal lashing like this is holding the weight more for flexing of a supporting structure. So if you can think of your weight-bearing structures on either side of this, and your square lashings being utilized on building a structure, this would essentially provide the support rather than the actual weight actually pressing down on this lashing. So just wanted to walk quickly through that. So as you can see in the configuration I have this tied, the wrapping here isn't probably the traditional way you've seen the diagonal lashing, and I feel it's better this way. It doesn't look as pretty, but that's just my kind of personal belief when it comes to the diagonal lashing. So I'm just going to deconstruct this a little bit so you can kind of see the process that this was created, and then we'll get into the actual construction. So as I'm taking this off, you will see the way that I kind of wrap this versus kind of, I guess, the traditional way. So when you cross the spars on top of each other in that X configuration, you want to start with a knot that's going to hold that, and that's why we utilize the timber hitch. So the timber hitch, if you're not familiar with it, can be a little tricky if you're not paying attention to the direction of wrapping. So you start by coming around an object and almost tying a noose, so to speak, around the standing part of the line. So once you get that, you wrap back over itself. So you're making a bite almost around the standing part, and then you're wrapping back around like this, and this is what creates the seizing effect basically of the timber hitch. So you want at least about 3 wraps. I typically sometimes have more, just there's really no incorrect way other than to have at least 3 on there. So as you start to pull this knot, you'll see what happens. So it actually seizes up on itself. It's a binding knot. So and then you cross that X on top of this and you start wrapping. So traditionally you would wrap 3 times like this, then come back around and 3 times the other way. I like kind of alternating it. I feel like it secures and locks the knot in better. So I come this way, and every time I wrap, what I'm trying to do here is just come on top of the last wrapping. So this is going to come here, come down here again, just coming on top of it there, and I'm just alternating this back and forth across the middle here. So once I get about 3 good wraps, as you can see here, I've got about 3, we'll start what's called frapping turns. So to start the frapping turns, you're going to come around and into the center here, locking the lashing, and you want to do at least 3 wraps here. And then to finish off the actual diagonal lashing, you are going to create a clove hitch. So clove hitch is going to come like this. I'm just going to tuck underneath this here. Sorry, it's a little difficult to tie the clove hitch sometimes when you're on a different diagonal than you're used to. So what I want is that to come right under here. And I'm a pattern person, so if I can't see the pattern, I think I did it wrong, which I really didn't, but there's your clove hitch. So again, with paracord and these pieces of wooden dowel rod, it's not the best for paracord, so please don't ever use paracord with wooden dowel rod for lashings. It's just not very secure. As you can see, this slips a lot. You really want to use natural fiber rope, just like this here. And this is what you want to utilize with real pieces of wood. Cedar spars are the best to use with lashings and some natural fiber rope. So again, that's the diagonal lashing. For more information on the knot you just saw tied, check the description for a link to the full article on ITS. Remember, if you're enjoying the Knot of the Week series, please consider joining our Crew Leader membership and allow us to give you back something in return for supporting. Check back every Tuesday for a new Knot of the Week, and thanks for watching.